This morning, I'm going to talk to my client this morning who we do check-ins each morning. And it's just 5 minutes on the phone. 5 minutes with everyone on the phone to check in where you're at today. Make sure that exactly what we've agreed on, exactly what you're doing and committing to every day is committed to, it's absolutely nailed down, and you're going to kick ass every day. We leave nothing, nothing to chance, because anything to chance gets choice. And choice will always drive you away from what you have to do to what's fucking comfortable. We're all human. But today, this video here is going to give you exactly what you need to become aware of where the fear lies in your life. And as a man, you're going to reject this. If anyone asked me a year, 3 years, 5 years ago, what are you afraid of? And it's a man and we're in a crowd of guys, or it's someone that you're trying to appear better or bigger or stronger or whatever you are to that person, I would have denied it. I'm afraid of nothing. I'm going to go through everything. I'm going to make everything happen. I'm afraid of nothing. There's so many fears in a man's life and he never discloses them. Because he never discloses them, and because that window of time expands exponentially every year, where you deny it and you deny it and you deny it, that then means that you become fully convinced that you don't have them. And where that becomes detrimental is that it's sitting underneath your conscious awareness, that you know subconsciously, you're not aware, but you're subconsciously afraid of so much. You're afraid of losing what you built in your life. You're afraid of losing what's important to you. You're afraid of not growing, not becoming better, not becoming the man that you know that you're capable of being deep down. Your conscience tells you every day. And the conversation that I had with my client this morning went like this, and we've got 4 steps. So I'm going to give you the 4 steps that's going to get you from where you are right now, breaking through every single limitation that you've constructed to this point. But the conversation was like this: I'm so fucking tired, Ryan. I'm really tired. Now, I appreciate and respect that you are tired, because if you're doing this work, it is energy. You need energy to break through the limitations and barriers that have been constructed round about your life in this little box that you now assume is all that is possible for you. And to break free of those barriers, to break free of those boundaries, will take an unbelievable force of energy. Where we're losing out is up here, because up here is where 75 or 80% of all energy our body uses is consumed by the brain, because the mind is always at work. And what you direct that work to consciously or allow it to do subconsciously is consuming so much energy that can be redirected to breaking free of these boundaries, these walls that you've constructed around about your life to keep you in this little narrow box. Here's how to break free of them. Step number 1, become super aware of the thoughts and the voices and the conversation that goes on in your head when you're about to meet someone, do something, change something. There's going to be a barrage of different opinions in your head about why it's a good idea or why it's not. And evolution would state that most of these things will be why it's not a good idea, why it's dangerous, what the problem could be, what the difficulty is, what the downside is. And most of those things are going to be stacked towards that. And now we become aware of those little voices in our head. And these voices are not you. So second, we have to become aware that the reality is we believe and surrender our will to some of these statements, some of these conversations that are going on in our head. And when we do that, it changes the action that we're going to take. The problem here is, step number 2 would state that your actions you're going to take were driven by your conscience, which is who you really are. The second part of it is that when your subconscious butts in, that is not your voice. It's not who you are. It's an accumulation of everything you've experienced in your life that has built up these memories that says this is not possible, or that is not something you should do because it's dangerous, there's a threat to me. And all of them are fabricated because you have no idea what's going to happen the next moment. Step number 3, once you have that awareness, then we have to put rubber on the road and take action. So we then have to go, I accept that these are the things that I've got going on in the back of my mind, but I'm going to become super aware of them. Now I know what they are. Now I know that most of the time in my life I've changed my actions. Today I'm going to choose differently. So today I'm going to use my energy that I've wasted on all these things that go round and round in my head, and I'm going to choose to act based on what I first thought. And the way you do that, here's the secret. The secret is you take action within 5 to 8 seconds. So when you think of the action, you take the action. Any longer than that, we start to get into this thinking, feeling loop that's going to spiral you back into the past. And step number 4 is just the definition of exactly what that process is. That process is what's keeping you trapped in your past and repeating the past. That's why you're stuck in this cycle of bullshit, because the reality and the truth that you now live is driven by the past. This subconscious thought pattern that keeps driving every behaviour and action in the area of your life that you are now stuck. So when you think of having a conversation with your wife and these thoughts start to fire off, she will not be happy, she would be disappointed, that conversation cannot be had, we shouldn't be doing this. This is all these things that happen in your head are driven by the past experience. Now, if you want to have a better relationship with your wife, if you want to have a better relationship with your children, if you want to have more growth in your life on a day-to-day basis, if you want to be in better physical condition, if you want to think better thoughts and be stronger mentally, if you want to be a better leader and someone who can lead in every front on your life, if you want to be that man, your past cannot do it for you. So step number 4 is you have to accept that these voices and these patterns in your brain are holding you stuck in the past. And if you want to achieve the things in your life in the areas that you want to achieve them, you have to let go of them and act based on what that future needs from you. And then you have to surrender to allow it to happen. So whatever happens from the actions that you take, you are prepared to handle that fallout, or you're prepared to handle the massive success which can come from it. But every day you choose based on the thoughts that go on in your head is a day that keeps you trapped and further away from the future that you dream of than you could ever possibly conceive of or imagine. And that's it for today. These 4 steps will change the way that you process things, they'll change the way that you act, and the only way to predict a new future is new actions in the present. I'm going to recap them for you right now. So what we have to do, step number 1, become super aware of what the voices in our head are saying when we're going to act on something, anything. Meet someone, have a conversation, go somewhere, all of these voices, commit to a move or whatever. Become aware of all those voices, write them down, bring them right to the conscious awareness. Step number 2, now we have to be aware that those voices are there, and when we allow them to, if we allow them to take root and we believe some of them, it will change our actions in the present. So our conscience is no longer in control and our subconscious is driving the program. And that is not productive. Step number 3, if we act within 5 to 8 seconds, we can change our future because we can act on our conscience and what we know is right, irrespective of what would come up later if we allowed that movement or action to fester in our brains and all those old past experiences regurgitate up and stop us from acting. And step number 4, if you want a new future, it's going to be driven by new actions in the present. And those new actions can only be driven by avoiding the negative nonsense that goes on in your brain when you're going to take a new action. Everyone has fear. What you need is courage to step into that fear and take action anyway. And if I can give you any sort of advice or guidance, if I can help you through this stage of your life, if I can give you the coaching that you then experience the strength that's inside you, and I don't need anything, I don't give you anything, I need to deliver you the information that's already deep inside you, that you are enough, strong enough, capable enough to capture every single achievement you want in your life and to live as the leader that your family needs, your business needs, and you need. Get in touch. across social media at Building Supernatural Dads. Drop me a message, let's have a conversation, and let's look at how we change the future of your life together. I look forward to speaking with you, and I'll see you tomorrow.